Adding a consigned item into Ricochet can be done by accessing a consignor's account, going into their Inventory tab, and clicking New Item. You also can click the plus button next to the consignor listing to quickly access the new consigned item screen for that consignor. In the Items Details section, you can add in the item title and short description. Next, you can categorize the item by adding a category. Categories will be a necessary field if you plan on using our integrated web store. If you need to create a new parent category, you can click the plus sign to create a category on the fly. Add the category into the name field and hit Save to save the category for future use. You can also add, edit, and organize your categories in the Product section under Preferences. Next, there will be the Brand field, where you can attach a brand to the item. If a brand has not been created, then you can click the plus sign to create a brand on the fly. You can also add and edit brands in the Fields tab under Products in the Preferences section. Next, you can change the item's commission split attached to the item in case it's different from the consignor's default split. Also, as a quick note, in case an item ever gets sold underneath the wrong commission split, you can come back to this screen, change the commission split, and click Update, and that will update the consignor or vendor's payout report. Next, you will have access to 2 custom drop-down menus, but by default, you're not going to see them in the screen. By going to the Preferences section, then to Product, and back to Fields, you'll have the ability of creating custom drop-down menus. Next, you can decide if you'd like to turn off or change the auto discounting plan attached to the item, turn off or change the sales tax of the item, or turn off the item fee. The Products Notes section will allow you to save notes to the item. And you can also attach photos. Photos are normally added for online store purposes, and you can add up to 5 photos per item. Next, in Pricing and Inventory, you can choose Standard Product or Product with Variants. The majority of consigned items will be standard products. Variants would be used in a situation where you purchase 10 shirts and 5 are small, 3 are medium, and 2 are large. Although we will review adding variant products in future tutorials, for this one we're just going to stick with standard products. Next, you can add the item's price and change the quantity if needed. The SKU field will remain grayed out until the item gets saved. Once the item is saved, the SKU will automatically generate. But if you're adding in an item into the software with a pre-existing barcode, you can scan or type that barcode number into the UPC field to use that barcode rather than the one created by the system. Next, there will be a status field. This will default to in stock when adding in an item, but once the item is saved, you will be able to change the status. And we will circle back to this in just a second. Next, you can change the stock date of the item by clicking the calendar button and choosing the date. If you set the date to a day in the future, then the status of the item will be marked as received until that day arrives. Next, you can set a low stock quantity. This field gets utilized when these items getting entered have quantity that may need to be replenished. Once the stock of the item hits this number, then the status will change to low stock. If a consignor wants a specific amount for an item rather than a percentage, then you can add that amount to the net field. Next, you can add a department to the item. The department is a field that is normally used to organize inventory by store location or season. Next will be the item's weight field. You will only need to add a weight when posting items online. If you're using the ECommerce add-on, then you'll be able to click the radio box to show online and add a few additional fields. But for now, we're just going to hit save to save the item. Now that the item has been saved, the SKU will appear in the SKU field. The status will show in stock or received, depending on if you altered the in-stock date. The status field can now be changed to change the status of the item manually. You can print labels to print this label individually, click Add New Item, or click Back to Products to go back to the product list.